Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. So Intel has a new processor that they're come out with, but they don't even have a motherboard yet, and they're bragging that it's faster than the M1s. How's that work in reality? An article I was reading about this too was, yes, they still got to get somebody to make them a motherboard for it, and then further down the article, they're kind of not sure how well it's going to work with Windows 11, let alone be able to really honestly compete against an AMD or Apple processor. So how is it that they're bragging that it's faster? That's actually a really good question. Do we see Apple being concerned about this? Nah. Apple is releasing M2 processors though, probably somewhere around next June or maybe September, October time period, with a whole new lineup of MacBooks too at the same time, hopefully a new iMac. Of course, I'm probably going to jump on the bandwagon a lot sooner for the iMac than planned. If things work out the way I'm hoping, I'll be able to do that. And I'm not too worried about an M2 processor because the M1 will more than be sufficient for what I use Mac for. So I'm not too concerned about, M1 to M2. I'm not going to wait to jump on the M2 bandwagon. But certainly looking forward to being able to get a top tier level iMac because that's actually what I'm after. I want their top end one, and I want 16 gigs of RAM in it, and a half a terabyte of hard drive, that sort of thing. And that's what I'm after. But I'm not even concerned about this Intel chip. But I mean, if Intel doesn't even have a motherboard right now, how is it that they're bragging that it's so much faster than an M1? And then on the other side, they start saying, well, we're not sure about how it's going to work with Windows 11, and and then we're not sure how well it really is going to stack up against an Apple or an AMD. This is hilarious. This reminds me of the Microsoft commercials with that kid, and if I was that kid, I'd be suing Microsoft for having to embarrass myself with everything that the kid did. I mean, we all talked about this. You cannot compare a Microsoft Surface tablet against a MacBook. I mean, there's a reason why Apple does not do touchscreens on computers, because nobody uses them. And nobody wants their fingerprints all over their darn screens either. And to boot, the majority of PC owners that buy PCs with touchscreens don't use them. Or if they do, they've tried it and then they found out, oh, my arm is so sore. And who wants to sit up and do this at their screen? I want to sit comfy, laid back, relaxed in my chair, my keyboard and mouse, do my thing, have my fun, play my video games. I don't want to be doing all this garbage up here. If I want a touch screen, that's why I've got an iPhone and an iPad for, and that's what tablets are for, touch screens. But even at that, I can still use Bluetooth keyboards and mice on my iPad and on my iPhone if I wanted to. It's not a big deal, and it's not very costly, unless, of course, you want to go for the really expensive, Apple stuff, then fine, but, I'm not that much of a fanatic. In fact, when I use a keyboard and mouse, even on my iPad, my top-end iPad, which is my iPad, what do they call it, the Air 4? The 2020 iPad, the iPad Pro Killer, that one, okay? When I use it, it's on my music stand, okay? And I'm using it for music purposes. But even when I want to use a keyboard and mouse with it, it's not a big deal. It stays on that stand. I swivel the stand where I need. It's hanging in midair, and I'm like, if I wanted to touch screen it, I could. But the reason why I use a keyboard and mouse is so I don't have to touch screen it when it's on a stand. I only touch screen it when I'm using it portable. So, But anyways, you guys know the commercials. We've been around that rope a lot of times. But it should be interesting to see what this Intel processor can not only do, but what it's going to take to get it running and what the cost is going to be to the customer. That's the big thing, because even right now, if you look at the world of Macintosh, Macs used to be really expensive, even for consumers that didn't have a boatload of money, right? I mean, they had a hard time buying Macs, right? So they would have to wait and get a good deal on an older used Mac, which you can get some really good older Intel Macs right now for a really good price if you shop around, that are going to be fantastic machines that will smoke a lot of even current PCs out there. you know, for far less money. But even a brand new M1 Mac right now, I mean, your cheapest is the MacBook Air for $1,300 Canadian. Your cheapest desktop being your iMac 24-inch with a 4.5K Retina display, which kicks butt. Even the base model kicks butt, okay? You're talking $1,599 Canadian, okay? That is cheap. I mean, when I got my 2013 iMac, I paid like $2,300 just for the computer itself, before tax, okay? I now have a late 2015 iMac that's 27-inch 5K Retina. I paid $1,000 used for it in absolutely cherry condition, you know, and so that was a really good deal, right? And you can get good deals like that on 2015 iMacs, and you're still good for another 2-3 years, right? Till Apple does that full-out cutoff, right, of all the Intel chips. So you're still going to get a couple years use out of an Intel processored Mac before you're not going to have any more security updates, and you're going to have to get that thing off the internet. But the M1s, you're going to see over the course of, once the M2s are released next year, the M1s, more of them are going to be on the used market for a cheaper price. You know, so you can buy what is now a $1,300 MacBook Air or a $1,600 MacBook Pro. You're going to see the Pro being somewhere around maybe $1,100, and that Air should be selling somewhere around $800 or $900 in cherry condition, of course. If it's not cherry, well, price goes down. So you'll be able to get in on the M1s, at least even on the used side of things, and be affordable, and you will still be able to kick butt against a lot of PCs, even for gaming, you know. And you can still run PC games on the Mac. You just need to use programs like Rosetta or Wineskin or some other alternative. But Wineskin, I've run some Wineskin apps even on my iMac, because I do have Windows 10 on it, but I can still do the Wineskin thing. And a friend of mine is a real Wineskin fanatic. But I got to tell you, I mean, I'm playing Unreal Tournament PC version that's been wineskinned, and it's flawless. Like, you guys have seen it on my channel playing it, and it's like, this is flawless. Like, I can't believe how fast it runs. It's just nuts. And that's on an Intel Macintosh computer. So, yeah, anyways. But in the meantime, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below about this new Intel chip, because that was kind of the main key focus of this. I just thought I'd throw a few extra things in there to give us a couple of extra minutes other than 38 seconds. But let me know what you think about the Intel chip. Should Apple be worried, though? No. Are they worried? Not one bit, because when those M2s come out, the M2s, I'm pretty sure, are going to smoke the daylights out of that Intel chip. And even the prices of the computers in comparison to a computer with that new Intel chip, yeah, it's going to definitely be more cost effective to go to a Mac. So I can see more and more people starting to turn away from PCs over time, more and more towards the Macintosh side, you know. So, but there's a whole other video we can talk about that sort of thing too, and why you should buy a Mac versus a PC. Maybe we'll do a why you should buy a PC versus a Mac. What are the good points and bad points to each in a whole? So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please stay tuned for more. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And smash that bell for notifications for new updates. And if all works out and Perlator gets here tomorrow, I've got some more stuff for you guys to check out on the channel that I ordered in. So it should be a fun week this week. Anyways, see ya.